What's going on, everybody? Welcome in for another video. I wanted to go over the Magic Commander bans, and with this largely being a sorcery channel, you may be wondering why I'm going to be going into the Commander bans. I think there are a lot of very good comparisons between the games. The sorcery is, heavily influenced by original Magic from back in the day, as well as some other card games. And I think there are some cool comparisons and some creative ideas and thoughts that I've come up with after, taking some time to breathe from these Commander bans. And I just wanted to kind of discuss some of my thoughts and see what everybody else is thinking regarding the comparisons between the two games. We know that Sorcery is largely a kitchen table boutique collectible card game, and it is casual in nature. We do have the new draft sites. They just hit the shop, and you can now purchase those new draft sites to draft Arthurian Legends that comes out on October 4th. It's next Friday. We have the second set for Sorcery coming out, and everybody's super excited. And I just wanted to run through the Commander bans and see what kind of thoughts we can come up with regarding some of these changes, and see how the games are kind of bouncing off of each other, in my opinion. So we have Dockside Extortionist, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, and Nadu Winged Wisdom. And this next part here, and those were the cards that got banned. The next part here, where it goes into the explanation of bans, the very first statement is just very huge in one of the comparisons that I've been thinking about over the last few days. The philosophy of Commander prioritizes creativity, and one of the ways we have historically reflected that in the rules and ban lists is to encourage a slower pace of game than traditional formats. In Sorcery, the original deck size was 40-20, and with the release of Arthurian Legends, it's going to 50-30. This is going to drastically slow down the game, and it's going to change up some consistencies. And they have stated that the end goal, once the card pool is big enough, they want to go to 60-40. Commander is a 100 card singleton format. You have a commander. In Sorcery, you have an avatar. And those are not identical, because Sorcery doesn't have, a singleton format. But the number of cards and the expected pace of the game, I'd say, is definitely going to be similar. They want to give decks time and space to develop and do different things. They have a goal to make it easier for players who enjoy slower, more social games to have an environment for them to explore. My only thing with these bans is that Commander is largely a casual format, so I don't know why bans are necessary in a casual format unless you're going to separate competitive from casual, and that can cause a divide between the players. And that brings me to my next comparison, which is a lot of players were sort of unhappy when Sorcery was going to be moving to 50-30, and some of the players, I don't know if it's a vocal minority, but some of them were saying, well, we're going to stay at 40-20. And I think in a growing TCG, you do not want to create a divide in your growing card game. So just to keep scrolling down, I wanted to go through their reasons for banning some of these cards. Mana Crypt. I'm not a well-versed competitive Commander player. I've played a few Commander matches. I actually am getting really excited to get some of the Duskmourn decks. The Duskmourn set. I'm a huge horror movie fan, and the set is really awesome to me. So I'm gonna check out some of those decks, but these are some cards that I would not be playing. Obviously, now that they're banned, I wouldn't be playing. But before, when I had my old Commander decks and when I played Magic a little bit more before Sorcery, I almost bought a Jeweled Lotus and I almost bought a Dockside Extortionist, but I never pulled the plug, and I would have bought, the cheapest versions. Some of these cards are, quite expensive, and with Commander being a singleton format, you only need one, so that's a good thing. But still, these cards getting banned, players were rightfully not happy. So Mana Crypt. Coming down for no mana on turn 1 is quite possible to have an explosive start into a Signet, Talisman land, or other Signet, leaving that player untapping 5 mana on turn 2. So they effectively wanted to take away a super mana ramp. Understandable. Nothing really more to say about that. Jeweled Lotus, from what I can see, I don't know why this is banned. I mean, this card was created just for Commander, and in a singleton format where one card gives you 3 mana of one type to cast only your Commander, I don't know why that got banned, but they went ahead and pulled the plug. Dockside Extortionist. Dockside isn't normally quite as explosive in the early game as the other 2 cards, but it can still go mana positive on turn 2 and start generating substantial treasures after that. I did see that Dockside, some people think that maybe Dockside should have stayed after these other 2 were banned to see how Dockside played without those 2. But evidently Dockside has been, on the chopping block for quite some time. So again, not surprised to see Dockside go here. And then I think it is really crazy here that they get into not banning Soul Ring, which Soul Ring is in every precon. And it says like they wanted to talk about the elephant in the room. I don't think Soul Ring ever gets banned. It's a normal staple card. It's in every precon. That would effectively make every precon illegal. I don't think they're ever going to do that. The fourth one here, Nadu Winged Wisdom, has been banned in other formats, so there's no surprise that it got banned here. So I'm going to scroll up back here just to the main part of the screen here and just ramble a little bit. And I would definitely like to see your guys' thoughts in the comments below about some of the comparisons between Magic and Sorcery. I do think it is funny that about a month and a half ago, there was a Monty Python Secret Lair released. I think that's funny considering the timing with Arthurian Legends coming out and all of the comparisons between Sorcery and Magic. I do think that I do wonder if Magic kind of maybe went ahead and pulled the plug on this, or their quote-unquote rules committee pulled the plug on these bans due to the fact that Sorcery made their deck change. So with them effectively changing their entire format from 40-20 to 50-30, Magic might have said, okay, well, they're going to change their format. Let's ban these, I'm not really going to count Nadu. Let's ban these 3 cards that kind of dominate our format, and let's slowly change ours. Because I have heard rumblings that there are more bans, incoming to where they can make room for newer cards. So that's it's difficult power level, and being around for 30 years, cards are going to get printed that do crazy things, and cards are going to get printed out of the format into the format. And being a game creator and creating these cards is not an easy task at all. But yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on what you guys think of the bans and how many how many Commander games have you played since these bans? Is if you play Magic as well as Sorcery, is your play group, keeping up with these? Are they acknowledging them? I've heard some LGSs, they're just going to keep playing, and that's the one weird thing about this, with both games being largely kitchen table casual focused. You're still going to have that competitive nature and competitive spirit from players. Like, these cards have awesome art, they do awesome things, and the players are going to want to play fun games, and they're going to want to win, whether it's in a tournament at a 4-player pod, one person, 1v1, a draft event, a sealed event. Players want to win games, and I wonder, if these bans come in and you sit down and you're like, okay, are we still playing with Jeweled Lotus? Are we still playing with Mana Crypt? For Sorcery, are you still playing Roots? Are you still playing this? Are you still playing that? Are we playing 40-20? Are we playing 50-30? You want to try 50-25? Like, I think that uniformity will help both card games in the long run, and that's one thing that I know a lot of players in Sorcery have really been pining for, is to get an official tournament structure, and hopefully that's coming down the line. I do see with a lot of the work that they're putting in, like, they clearly are valuing organized play. And I would like to see that once Arthurian Legends and maybe the next Dragon mini set and whatever comes after that. I do hope a tournament structure, maybe some sort of regional events, and stuff like that come down the pipeline. But yeah, I just thought it was just a fun little topic to discuss here, and let me know let me know your opinions down in the comments below. Please leave a like, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.